Beyond the fairway, man, Will, good to see you, man. I feel like I haven't seen you in so long. It's been like an hour and a half since we were together. Now we're on opposite sides of the country. What's cracking?
Man, you know what? It feels good to be back home. I have been grinding, preparing for this BMW Charity Pro-Am presented by Cinex, and I am playing in it.
Go ahead and drop
and
that. Drop that.
I'm
sponsor
dropping
in
it,
there.
and I'm grinding, bro. I want to win, 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 and we are here.
I'll tell you what. Well, I got somebody that's going to be your adversary at the BMW coming up. Without further ado, I'm America's guest. Let's welcome in America's Caddie. Mr. Michael Collins is in the building. Collins, what's up, baby?
Well, before we get started, I just want everybody to know he is my friend right now. However, in just 2 days and 22 hours, he will be my enemy.
That's like 3 days.
You know we're not even gonna be in the same flight, man. What you talking about?
I'm trying to add dramatization to this thing, man.
Drama. You're gonna try and bring a little drama to it, man. There's enough drama. I'm on 3 hours of sleep, catching 2 flights to get down here like crazy. You know.
Hey, did they pick you up from the airport, or you just went? You flew into Greenville.
I flew straight into Greenville, but they still picked me up.
Okay,
I feel like you gotta have that plane that shakes when you go into Greenville. You don't come in on a decent sized plane.
The dust
no, listen, you came in on a decent sized plane, man. That short runways in LaGuardia. LaGuardia, the one, bro. When they land in LaGuardia, boy, you better have the anti-lock brakes on that plane. You know how many planes end up in LaGuardia going into the drink, bro?
Hey,
that runway too short.
Hey, the runway too short, and before I get on the plane, I spray pigeon repellent just on the engine because I'd be scared, bro.
I know you talking about all them bird strikes.
Yeah, all them birds
in New York City. In New York, you gonna tell me how you gonna keep them? You know they got some they got pigeons over there that did time. You know what I mean? Them pigeons be standing by the fence. Yeah, I tried to get on that plane last year, bro.
If some of the pigeons ready to go, they ready to go ahead and see Jesus. So they don't.
Yeah, them pigeons got jail tattoos, bro. They out there trying to do it.
Hey, I be going after my little little spiritual thing. Everybody think I'm trying to
sage. Got your sage out there with
sage and say the plane. Nah, I'm just trying to put some anti-pigeon repellent on that.
And everybody be like, I didn't know Harry Christian's got dreads. Hot dog.
Hey, Collins, it's good to see you over the week at the Memorial, man. We were both there on the call. Will was on the ground. Will actually played in the Pro-Am. Collins, I thought you were going to get a chance to go and play with Keegan Bradley when Morikawa withdrew. I thought you were going to go ahead and take that spot.
I had my clubs in the car. I always think about that, too. I think from spectators that wear golf shoes to a golf tournament and dress like they're going to play, you know damn well they got their clubs in the trunk and they're just hoping, hey man, look, you look dressed appropriately. Is there any chance your clubs are in the trunk? Because you want to play as a marker, they'd be like, I've been dreaming of this. I've been this moment.
Hey, Michael Collins, let me tell you something. That's what happened to me when Neil Berkshire from CEO Workday, when he asked me to fill in for somebody who canceled, right? When I tell you, I said yes. And I still wrote him a letter, apology for keep you waiting. That's how quick I said yes, right? And I get it. But bring your own golf shoes and golf clubs. Is that equivalent to take your own golf clubs to Top Golf?
Yeah, kind of.
That's kind of weird.
I laugh at those people. Like, I get mad at people who bring their own clubs to Top Golf.
Yeah. Although, as a lefty, I'm...
Okay, that's
different. I gotta have my even to just go have fun like that. I don't want to be hitting, and I don't want to look like that guy as I'm putting Purell on every set of grips that is out there. Hey, are you ready? Nah. Nope.
You got Plurell. I got baby wipes.
We'll keep the wipe. He got the dude wipes out there with him and just.
Oh, that's the thing. I want to be. That would be even worse if you had baby wipes, because then the next person is going to be like, "Who changed their baby diaper and then swung this golf club?"
That would be some shit that Will would pull off. But Collins, I find you so interesting in this golf space because one, you're everywhere. And two, it's like I look at some of the opportunities you've had recently this year, and I thought it was dope. Like getting to see you and Matty call the PGA Championship on that alternate stream. Let's start there. What was that like? And did you have, was it any extra pressure for you when you have an alt stream and you got like the ESPN and shit? Because I know y'all was next to each other.
Yes. Well, that was the thing it was wild because, number one, when you get a text message from Archie Manning and Peyton Manning saying like, hey, good luck this week, have a good time, really looking forward to this, it's a lot of extra pressure. And then they threw on top of it, don't look at each other. What?
Don't look at the dude that's next to you.
Sitting right, and they were like, we might have to put a cardboard thing up between. And I was like, y'all better not put no cardboard there, because if you put cardboard there, then I'm going to do it. I'm going to be looking at the cardboard on purpose, just out of spite. You know what I mean? I'd be like, you can see the look I'm giving you right now for that take on, man. But no, it was, I did it the year before. The first year they did it was last year, and I was at Southern Hills, and remember like going to the golf course on Monday and Tuesday to check out the golf course, and then flew to St. Louis and was actually in studio with Joe Buck in St. Louis. So this year, to get to stay on site to do it the way that we did it was fantastic, because I was literally getting able to walk out, talk to guys on the driving range, walk back in, sit down on set, and like talk about what I just saw and who I just talked to about what I learned. And so I felt a lot of pressure the first day because I was wearing a jacket and a tie.
Yo, I was gonna call you out on that shit, Mike.
Okay, no, here not.
Hold on, first of all, you got on Versace.
I got on
Versace
my boy
and overalls, and you had a tie on.
Let me tell you something. How I rolled. This is Willie Nelson overalls. They're Willie Nelson. They was on a sale rack for $7.98.
I love it.
And this shirt, y'all say it's Versace. My mom got this shirt. She found it at the Burlington Coat Factory clearance rack, and it was $4.
See,
so
you got
know
me.
what I'm saying? Like
$11 worth of drip right there.
You talking about like y'all think I got $5 million drip on, and I'm more TJ Maxx than anything else. That's how I grew up.
I felt the overall was from the clearance rack, but I thought you had Tommy Hilfiger stripes. That's what I thought you did.
It looked a little bit like it, but nah, they're definitely not. This is not the Hilfiger stripes.
Or you want to go metal, damn it.
I don't rock that. Metal. Yeah, that would be the thing. If I'm getting a metal from, so I can put them together and be like, I'm the fake. Yeah, hey. Everybody. But yeah, that first day, like. Matty it was his idea. He was like, yo, let's dress like we're doing this for real. And I was like, but we're not trying to be Lance Immelman. He was like, no, we got to look right. And I was like, okay, man, we'll do it. And the best thing that happened was the number 2 dude at ESPN, my man walks in the studio as soon as we finish, and he sees me. He walks in. We weren't even done. We were only done with part of the show. He walks in and he sees me in the jacket and the tie, and he looks at me and is like, what's wrong? What are you doing? Why are you dressed like that? And I was like,
you on ESPN.
I got a baseball jersey and a t-shirt hanging right there. Because I had gone to Rochester minor league baseball stadium, and I bought a ton of their jerseys because I like representing where I'm at, right? So he was like, yo, I don't want to see you wearing that suit and tie tomorrow. Like, you don't look comfortable. And it's not that I'm not comfortable in it, but it's like, I don't know. It'd be like you don't see nobody wearing a suit and tie when they go out and do a rap show, right?
Right.
It just don't fit your personality. So like I can do the stuff in the suit and the tie. If it's a serious thing, like I can do the serious news. That's for me, that's easy. Like it's easy to be serious. It's hard to be fun and entertaining
with a suit
and then talk about golf and stuff. So I want to be comfortable when I do it. So from the next day on, and it was crazy too because I had to do Sports Center early, and I was gonna do Sports Center in a suit, but then it was so cold. Like I had a toque on, I had a ski jacket on. It was bananas. But then when I went in that studio, I was like, bro, I'm not. And Matty was like, come on, man, you look so good. And I had a nice outfit suit wise for Sports Center. And he was like, but it looks so good. I was like, I don't care. I'm not doing that. So then from that moment on, I rocked a t-shirt and a baseball jersey. And it was cool, the response that I kept getting from people.
Yes.
So when I would go out on the golf course, like after our stuff was done before the television came on, people would be watching at home and then come to the tournament. And I would go out onto the golf course and people would just be like, man, that was so awesome. I love that you rocking what you rocking. Like you had William Murray t-shirt on and then that, garbage plates jersey on, or I had the Copa del Rey version of the Red Wings on too, which was like Coco Locos. And it was awesome. It was cool. So the response meant everything to me.
I remember like when I did the President's Cup, I moderated, hosted an event for the President's Cup, and I elected not to have my hat on. I'm always wearing a hat backwards because my hairline is terrible, right?
It is.
So
disappeared.
I had the hairline out, and there's couple of executives of the PGA Tour said, "Hey, Will, why you don't have your hat backwards?" I'm like, because I ain't trying to get fired. What do you mean?
Exactly. And then you start thinking to yourself, you know what? That's probably why they put me on here.
Right.
Because they want me.
You.
They want me to be me. And that's the whole thing. Like if it's an alt cast, it's an alternate cast. Like I'm not trying to be Trevor Immelman to Jim Nance. Like that's not who I am. I can do that. But for me, like that is work because for me it's tedious.
Well, talk about that, MC. Like, what is it like to be in this game but still be comfortable in your own skin? Like, elaborate.
Well, that's the reason I got into it. The reason I say yes to doing kind of all the stuff that I do now is because of that. I'll never forget. I was doing XM radio before. This was before Sirius even bought out XM. Right? It was just XM, and I was doing it my way. Like I was talking to dudes the way that I talk to everybody. I talk to everybody the same way, whether you're a president or a janitor. Mm-hmm. Like that's not what makes you cool to me. I don't care what your job title is. I don't care how much money you make. What makes you a cool person? Because it ain't how much money you got and it ain't your job title. Right. There's a lot of people that have big job titles and they're jerks. There's a lot of people that ain't got no money and they're the coolest people you ever want to hang out with, right? Like, so, and that's how I approached everything when I was doing XM radio. And I'll never forget they got an email at XM and someone must have been an old fuddy-duddy, but they go, can you please take off the guy who sounds like Tupac and Fat Albert had a baby?
Ooh, what was your response?
But they were dumb enough to tell me that the email came in. So what did I do? The next call I had, I was like, hey, that's his third birdie today. Just to spite the person who said that email. And my producer was like, man, you trying to get assassinated on this. People going to come after you. But I was like, look, man, I'm not going to change who I am. And that's the thing. And what I love about what I get to do is I do it different than everybody else, or at least back in the day when I first started. My mom told me, she was like, nobody was funny in golf until you got into golf, and now everybody's trying to be funny. And I was like, oh, well, that's my comedy background, I guess. But who knows? Like, I take it as a compliment.
You should. You open the door for me. You got me trying to. I mean, you way funnier than I am, but you got me trying to crack a joke. But
you know what? That's the thing about golf. Here's the thing. Like, there's already that people who do serious, right? You want to do serious in golf? Cool. Go ahead, knock yourself out. You can do that. But for me, like, I don't care how somebody hit a cut 7-iron. Like, that gonna be like, unless I'm trying to catch a nap or something like that. Like, I want people to know these dudes that are on the PGA Tour. I want people to know these women that are on the LPGA Tour the way I know them. Like, I want you to see, if you see me with a player, I want you to be like, holy cow, I want to go have a beer with that player. Yeah. Right? Like, that's what I don't want you to be like, oh, yeah, it's another plain old golfer talking the same old stuff.
Isn't that liberating, though? Like,
yeah.
Realize, like, I'm about to be free. Like, I'm free.
Yeah.
Free.
It's not it's you know what it is? It's not afraid of being fired.
Oh.
That's what it is. And it was the same caddying. Like, the reason that what people ask, like, what makes a really good caddy? Don't be afraid to be fired. Somebody hires you to be on the bag to tell you something they might not want to hear, right? Like, if they're dead set on hitting a 7-iron and 7-iron is the wrong club, you got to not be afraid to say, I don't like it. You got it 6 irons the club here, and here's why. Right? And then deal with the after the fact, right? So
how do you see the game how do you see the game evolving in the next 5 to 10 years?
Ooh, that's a good question, man. 5 to 10 years. Look how the game has evolved in the last year because of this new league. Right? So here's what's a great question about that. So this year, we'll just talk about this year.
Yeah,
you talk about these dudes. You talk about these dudes. We're talking about, those guys that play over on that league. They're only playing a certain number of events. They're gonna be all tired and stuff like that. Who looks the freshest right now at all the majors?
That boy.
It ain't the PGA Tour dudes. Like them dudes are going when they get to the US Open and to the Open Championship. Them dudes gonna be. Bruh, this year has been a grind. So I'm anxious to see, because like the tour, it's just like the way the tour is doing the schedule right now is just like the first year the FedEx Cup came out. And everybody was like, yeah, FedEx Cup, we getting all this. Hold up, only one person's getting all the cash and everybody getting deferred. What?
Right.
What? And how's the scoring work? And they were like, no, we're going to do a little tweak. And then the second year, everybody was like, man, we got this figured out. Oh, you do? Yeah, it's 2 dudes in lab coats over there that are doing all kinds of calculations. And they need 2 computers and a whiteboard. You'd be like, oh.
Oh, you say white boy or whiteboard? Hold on.
Whiteboard.
Same thing. But you're right. One of them you can erase the Sharpie off of, and the other one you're going to end up in a mosh pit.
He's got to take the Sharpie.
No, but you make a good point, though, Mike, about, the live guys looking fresher, because I thought that I would hear more about Liv once Brooks won the PGA Championship. I thought this was going to be this rah-rah moment for Liv, and it seemed like kind of in the back there's been like a kibosh on it. But I want to talk.
But hey, look, this dude partied for 3 days and missed the Pro-Am. Oops, bruh, you know what I mean? Yo, we got a major champion. He coming. Hold on. He gonna be here in a minute. Hold up.
It's like Will getting on to the 1s and 2s to do the podcast. He'll be right here. Hold on,
I'll be on my way.
He'd be like, it's been a while. He'd be like this, yo. I forgot I had to do an update on the computer, but I'm gonna. Yeah, I know there's some plane problems or something.
It's crazy because, going back to that tiredness, man. I saw JT when we were all at the Workday Pro-Am. I saw JT Justin Thomas. He wasn't hitting the ball great. I was about to ask him if he wanted to join my member guest. It was that bad. I was like, man, I just to help you get some momentum, come beat us and get you a W.
Yeah.
But I have to say this, and I want to ask you this question. I don't know if you're allowed to answer this, but does the PGA Tour need to think, the young up and coming members of the PGA Tour, do they need to thank Phil Mickelson for, even though Phil took some heat, but there's a lot of money going out in the PGA Tour now, and these players seem a bit happy. Do they need to write a thank you letter to Phil?
I mean, that ain't never gonna happen.
Never.
That ain't never gonna happen. And yeah, I mean, Phil took some heat because Phil said some stupid stuff. Phil's having a good old time on Twitter nowadays. He's one of the most entertaining dudes to be like, dog, bro. Listen, that league changed golf. It changed golf. It changed golf as far as now how the money is coming into golf, right? We know when there was only one top product out there, and that's the PGA Tour. If you're the only game in town, then why do I need to change? There's no reason for me to change other than at a glacial pace, and I could get caught up in all kinds of politics in the behind the scenes stuff of who's going to be running stuff, the top dudes or the bottom dudes. And that's the one thing. This is the one thing where people don't give Jay Monahan enough credit, right? people think, these guys at this secret players only meeting, but it was only the top 30 guys. And then Ricky Fowler at the time got to come up there and be in that meeting and stuff like that. And I used to laugh. I was like, what if the dude who was like 121st on the FedEx Cup showed up and was like, yo, I'm here for the meeting? They would have looked at him and been like, yeah, I would like 2 creams and a sugar in my coffee, man. Go over there and get my coffee. Like, and he would have been like, you don't even, I'm a member of this tour too. And that's the thing where people forget what Jay Monahan has to do. Like, he's not just having to work for the top 30 guys on tour. This dude has 250 members. So what happens when the top 30 guys love an idea and the bottom 30 guys are like, yo, how does that help me?
Right.
Yeah, how does that help me get that cash? Like, that ain't helping me making money. That ain't
play
helping
better,
me.
right? It's like play better.
I love when guys say play better until they fall out of that category where now they got to play better.
Right.
And now it's like, yo, we need to make some changes. Oh, you didn't need to make no changes when you was inside the happy place.
Exactly.
Now that you're out of the happy place, you just like, maybe that whole play better. You never hear them say that after the fact. That's like when somebody who's super rich tells somebody super poor, here's what you need to do. You're like, listen, man, don't stand in front of a G5 wearing your Rolex telling I can't even afford an Apple Watch and I got a 1-bedroom apartment that I share with roaches. Like, don't tell me what to do, right? We don't come from the same place.
It's like Larry Fitzgerald telling me to go to the Masters without a reservation tickets on my own dime.
Just go. Go on ahead.
I looked at Larry like, I don't have just 5.
Yeah, and you gotta tell Larry you Paul Hawley out here. Like you just can't get by like that.
Hold on, real quick, Colin. Speaking of Larry,
what you got to do with Larry? You got to get Larry. You got to tell him, all right, I'll text you when I'm there, and then you just get to the gate. Yo, come get me.
Well,
I'm outside.
I asked him for a ride. I was like, yo, since you're gonna do that, let's ask for a ride.
Oh, y'all so dirty. Y'all so dirty for this.
We had an opportunity to meet up with Larry Fitzgerald over the week while we were in Columbus, Ohio at the work day.
So not fair. Look at these pictures, man. That's so not fair.
But
they're also very they actually hit similar positions. But Mike,
no, they don't.
They're both across the line.
Will is.
Hey, no, Mike.
They both across the line.
Like that.
I'm not saying, but don't say it's similar. Their swings are similar. No,
there's a line and they're across.
We got the one dude on the right who obviously is a lover of chicken wings. Like right there, that swing is all flats, no leg. Right there, look at it. That is funny. I can't. That'd be funny if you be like, yo, Larry Fitzgerald let himself go, man. He got frumpy.
Hey, but look, Will had to break so many kids' hearts in Columbus because, number one, let's look at the stature of 2 individuals. One is in prime shape. No offense, Will. Will, you're in good shape. I'm not saying that you're not.
Will got dad bod. It's okay. Nothing wrong with that. You look at Larry Fitzgerald, and then you look at Will. Like, I can see Larry Fitzgerald's belt buckle. I know Will not wearing no Jay Lindeberg because that would have slit him open and his large intestines will be hanging on the ground right now. And this is coming from a fat guy. Like, I ain't speaking like out of tune. You know what I mean? I don't wear Jay Lindeberg neither. The same reason.
I get my clothes just loose enough and just tight enough.
Right? Yeah. I tell people all the time I wear a size 32. It's just 40s feel better.
and Larry confident with his hairline.
He still got it. But I want to say though, but to Will and I were somewhere, and I don't remember where it was. And this guy was like, Larry Fitzgerald, can I get your autograph? And Will was like, I'm not Larry Fitzgerald. And this dude actually rebutted Will not being Larry. He said, quote, I'm a Larry Fitzgerald fan. I've been watching Larry Fitzgerald for almost 20 years. I know what Larry Fitzgerald looks like. And Will just looked at him like, no, you don't.
Apparently not.
You
know what? I'll make you. Will, you want me to make you feel better?
Please.
My very first nickname on tour, Little Hootie.
I'm dead. I'm screaming out loud.
Little Hootie.
Little Hootie. Billy Andre at Hilton Head came up to me and was like, over the, oh my goodness, we got to hang out. Come to the tour. We ain't talking so long. 1998. Now I was a lot thinner at the time, and it was right when Crack Rearview Mirror came out.
Yeah.
But man, he swore I was Darius Rucker.
So and Darius,
I'm like,
Darius Rucker.
And this has happened before, where Darius walks out of a room and I walk in, and people will come up. Same thing, Will. Same thing.
Man, it's the worst, man. I had kids, man, like come up to me and they ask for my autograph, and I feel good. Come like, finally,
you made it.
With a mini tour player that didn't make it. Finally, like, thank God, Jesus, you do answer prayers. I put this in the universe. I get asked for autograph. You worthy, God. You worthy to be praised. And next thing you know, they like, Larry, thank you. And I almost did a cap at the kid's face. I'm like,
Larry, it was like,
did you sign it first?
Yeah, no, it was.
See?
And then there was a young lady who was kind of cute. She was like, "Hey, Larry." I was like, "Yes, ma'am. I'm Larry Fitzgerald. How you doing?"
That's it.
Yeah,
I'm Larry.
Some of my friends, some of my friends tried to get me in trouble with Pepper one time. I'm Larry.
You got and the only way I can talk like Larry if I have a mouth guard in.
I feel like Larry had braces in 7th grade. You can't tell me he didn't. And then he had them redone.
Larry graduated from braces to Avery Johnson mouth. You guys don't know Avery Johnson.
Hey, Avery Johnson.
Avery Johnson made sure that every time that he does to talk like that, I need to tell you exactly why we were doing what we were doing on the basketball court. That's
Avery
why
Johnson used all of his jaws to talk.
Right. Avery Johnson, he got 39 teeth and showed all of them. Everybody else only got 32.
Avery Johnson got a mouthful of wizard teeth. They call him Smart Mouth.
Mike, tell me something, man. Like, how have you been able to kind of like stay around the game of golf? Because I feel like from the late '90s, you were there for the Tigerness. You were with Omar Uresti on the bag. You caddied for countless players. Transitioned into podcast, broadcast, anything that has to do with casting and hosting. How have you find just your ability to kind of stay in this space?
I don't know, man. I honestly couldn't tell you. I still love the game. I still love the players. I still love the relationships. I think the biggest thing for me is that, like, players trust me because they know I'm not going to burn them. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the difference between personal talk and talk that can go out to the public, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, and that's a thin line, Phil Mickelson.
But see, that's the thing. Like, if it's me, here's the thing. If Phil would have called me and that rant would have happened, that never would have got out.
Never.
It never would have got out.
Does players and fellow journalists, do they look at that individual who kind of ratted Phil out as like, you're a traitor? Or
that's not the first time.
No.
Like, one of my favorite golf books of all time, Bud, Sweat, and Tease.
Never heard of him.
Bud,
like the title.
Look it up. His first book
title.
was Bud, Sweat, and Tease, and it was based on Rich Beam and Steve Duplantis. So Rich Beam and Steve Duplantis get together. Steve Duplantis, who was Jim Furyk's old caddy, who died tragically, got hit by a car. He was an old school caddy, like, had a daughter to a stripper who left her, and like, he was a single dad, but he partied like old school. And so this dude followed Rich Beam and Steve get together, and they win their first time out. Rookie guy and rookie caddy, not rookie caddy, but like rookie guy and this caddy who just basically drug him around TPC Avenel to his first win. So dude decides, I'm gonna write a book about these two, and he follows them for a year. And there was stuff that ended up in the book that, like, both of them were not cool with ending up in the book.
So ain't nobody beat him up yet? Am I not?
No, you can say that, man. Look, here's the funny thing. Look, I'll tell you this right here. Like, I had a dude talk smack about Omar Uresti, like, and he had never met him before, and he called him a douchebag, right? And I was like, yo, we can go out in the parking lot the next tournament and solve this. And he was like, oh, are you threatening violence? And I'm like, okay. So, like, you what my favorite term, I gotta give Anthony Mackie a lot of credit for this. There's a lot of thumb thugs out there, right? A lot of thumb thugs. But then it's like, we can go outside and talk about it if you want to go talk about it. Like, you're gonna find out where I came from if you want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with if you're gonna say stuff about somebody, or like if somebody gives you permission and they give you that trust to come inside their bubble.
Yeah.
Yo, when you break that trust,
can't forsake that, man.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap. Like, people have asked me to write a book all the time, and I was like, when I decide I never want to have any more friends on the golf course, like if I'm done with golf, like I'm done with golf. I ain't doing no more golf stuff, and I don't care about having friends and nothing like that. But that day ain't coming for a while, and that's why I love what I get to do, because it's like I get to hang out with my friends on the golf course, and even if I lost my job, right? If I lose my job and something goes horribly wrong, like I still got my friends.
Right.
They were my friends before I had this job, before I got in front of the camera, before I got famous or whatever. I don't consider myself famous, but before I got to be where I'm at right now, these people are my friends. Right. So you think I'm gonna trade their friendship in for a couple of clicks that people are gonna forget about in a month?
Right.
I ain't doing that. Somebody asked me that one time at my job interview too. They were like, well, what happens if one of those people gets in trouble? And I was like, well, if something happens to somebody I'm tight with on the PGA Tour, if something like crazy happens, illegal, and they get in some kind of trouble, who you think they're going to trust to come talk to?
Right.
They're going to trust somebody that they think might burn them, that has no vested interest in them whatsoever, and they're just there for that story? Or they're going to trust somebody that knows even if I got to say something like, yo, bad stuff went down and here's what happened, right? I'm still going to go on the driving range the next day and look him in the eyes. That's the thing.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, because even like as Doug and I kind of progress through the PGA Tour landscape, we're starting to see like more players kind of trusting us as well. And I can't say we're fully in the bubble yet, but I can say that we are. I look at things like you got the flag stick is the player. You got the cup, probably the family, and then how far are you away from the cup? And I feel like we're pretty close to the cup. We're not in there just yet. And
we inside the strokes game putting.
We're inside the strokes game. And the whole thing, positive strokes game putting. The whole thing is just let these players know, like, we will protect you, and we don't want anything to happen to you.
It's not even that I want to protect them. I'm not going to talk shit about a player. I'm just not going to put their business in the street.
This is the biggest compliment I get from players is. Like Billy Horschel, Justin Rose, Ricky Fowler, like all of these dudes that there's so many of these dudes that I consider my friends. And the biggest compliment they give me is I heard a couple of these guys and other guys who I'm not naming. They told people we don't mind when Michael criticizes something that we did on the golf course because they know it's not coming from a place of like, hey, I'm just trying to make a name for myself, right? That is coming from a caddy perspective. Here's what I saw, and here's where I think the mistake was made. And here's what it means so much to me for them to say that is because then they go, because I'll come down on the driving range and go right to you. Hey, did you hear what I said? Did you see what I said? If I said something that's not true, if I said something that was off, the first thing I'm going to do is go right up, find the camera, and be like, yo, let's go. I just went down and talked to so-and-so. Yesterday, I told you this, and after I talked to the player, here's what he told me, and here's what really happened. So I was wrong with what I said yesterday because here's what the player told me, exactly what happened when he was down there. Yeah. And I think when you're not afraid to stand in front of the camera and say, I was wrong, but here's where I'm right. Yeah. Because I talked to the player, and the player told me. I think that not only builds trust with the player, but it also builds trust with your audience. Because now the audience knows, like, I'm going to tell you what I think is the truth. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to tell you I'm wrong. And I'm going to tell you why I'm wrong.
Yeah. And it's crazy how you can see people who have ill intent, the type of questions they ask. Like,
if you're just doing it for clicks, or if you're just saying things.
Even like with Steph, like with, everybody knows that Steph and I are cool. Man, you should see. Steph doesn't know the questions that I dodge or that I don't even entertain.
Being friends with him sucks.
It's the worst, bro.
Being friends, I tell people, being friends with famous people sucks because everybody tries to act like, hey man, we would love to have you come to our thing. And you like, oh yeah, you should call your friend. Call your friend and have them come to, or yo, can you ask so-and-so? Can you ask so-and-so this for me?
Like, hey, it's so funny. I got a guy, I'm not gonna say his name, but is a player on the PGA Tour that asked me to do something for a child, a kid who was battling with cancer or whatever.
Yeah.
And Steph gets 5 billion of those every day. And there's certain times where I'm like, I have a heartstring with the situation. I'm like, I'm asking Steph. And then I had to really tiptoe, like, God, how can I ask Steph? Because I just asked him 2 weeks ago on the same thing.
No.
So the player, I saw the father, saw Dale, and asked Dale, and Dale didn't. And I had already asked Steph. I asked Steph. I asked our team. Can we send a video to this young man? No reply. I mean, he gets a billion of them. So,
but that's the funny thing too. We also know too. No reply is the subtle way of saying I don't.
No, I'm
right. But the thing about it. One thing about Steph is he'll reply 2 weeks later, and you be like, what?
What do you reply? Oh my gosh!
Am I that far down the list?
Yeah.
But the thing about it is,
oh, thanks, bro. The dude's already dead. Sorry, man. My bad.
Damn, Collins.
So the tour player went and asked Dale and got it done, and now the tour player
you ain't got no juice, Will.
No, I ain't got no. He won't even look at me. I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? He's like.
No, speaking of that,
but see, that tells you something too. That it's a two-way street, right?
Yeah.
It's a two-way street. You'd be like, oh, I get it. You were just being nice to me. Now I see how it is.
Exactly.
I see how it is. Yeah. And that's my big thing too. Like with the friends that I have, the guys who mean the most to me on the PGA tour, and even the guys who mean the most to me on the other tour. It's not about when times are good.
Right.
It ain't about that. Right. It's about when it hits the fan. When it hits the fan, who coming? Who coming when it hits the fan? You're going to find out who your friends are then. Like when stuff goes down, who's still coming around? Who's still texting? Who's still calling? And you'd be surprised at some of the names of dudes that are going to be Kaiser Soze. Like they gone. When it hits the fan, they gone. You ain't going to see them again. But some of the dudes that end up coming that are going to be like, yo, I'm here no matter what goes down. I got you. Like you'd be like, yo, that dude said that? You'd be like, yeah.
Crazy. Crazy.
So I want to pivot a little bit. We're playing in the BMW Charity Pro-Am.
Yeah.
Next.
You say you've been practicing.
I have been practicing, bro. What makes this event so special, Michael Collins?
It is the Korn Ferry Tour's Pebble Beach Pro-Am. It's that much fun. There's so much good stuff to do. I mean, just what we get to go do over it. People don't know, like a lot of people don't know that Greenville is the home of BMW. So BMW has all kinds of test track stuff over there. They actually build all their X's here. So all those SUVs. So there's this thing where you take the SUV up and you get it on 2 wheels going like this, tilting. It's crazy. And then they got a skid pad and they let us knuckleheads out there for a day and a half. Man, I'm like, I'm glad y'all took the insurance because I'm about to blow these tires out. Because as a little kid, like I only had 2 posters on my wall. That was it. I had a Lamborghini and I had a BMW 750 IL. Those were my 2 dream cars. I've been lucky enough now I got an X5. Thank you, BMW of Devon, my boys, Philly. Good looking out. But I still ain't got that Lamborghini. But this event is like, I know. I still, like I said, yo, Ross, TJ Maxx, Burlington Coat Factory,
and an X5. All right, and an X5. That's where you spend your money. Shit, Kyle. Let me put it on the car.
But yeah, I can't wait for that BMW.
Can we? All the dinners and stuff like that are out there too. We go to dinner almost every night. It's bananas.
Can we get a little wager? I feel like we should bet something. Will, can we get a?
How many
Michael
shots
Collins,
I'm getting though?
We're gonna play the handicap.
How about this? We do it for the charity. We do it for charity. All right.
Yeah.
How many shots? Do you want?
The United Caddie Pizza Fund. That's what we're gonna do it for.
United Negro, no hairline fund. I'm all over it.
My man, salute with a 5 head.
Hey man, my hairline's so gone, dog. It is so bad, bro.
They made him take his hat off in the
You
membership.
know what?
the other day.
Anytime, look, if you do anything with your hat off, you better be playing the saxophone in a jazz club. Son. That's all you allowed to do.
Like Coltrane out here.
Exactly.
Hey dog. I wake up in the morning, I see a dread on a pillow. I'm like, another fallen soldier.
Hey, that's how those boys felt last week. They felt like they looked like fallen soldiers at Muirfield Village.
Wow.
Mike, real quick before we let you go, U.S. Open picks is coming up week after next. Today is the longest day. We'll see who got into the U.S. Open as this comes out on Wednesday. But Mike, what are we thinking about? L.A. Country Club, L.A. vibes. Who's taking it?
You know what I'm more curious about? Like, number one, it's again, do not be a little bit surprised if 3 of those dudes from that other tour are in contention.
Yeah, they fresh,
Just
man. They're fresh.
Don't be surprised, right? So on the PGA Tour, the dudes that you got to watch out for, Hovland's gonna have all kinds of momentum going in there now, right?
Yeah, he was trending before he won. True.
He was. It almost makes me nervous that he won Jack's event, because now he understands like how up you got to get to beat a field that strong. But he was in contention coming down the stretch up until 16 at the PGA. So it ain't like he ain't been there before, and I think this win taught him a lot.
I got a sneaky pick.
Okay, man, give me somebody sneaky.
I think Seamus Powers.
He was no S. It's Power.
Sorry, Power. I'm thinking.
Power.
Sorry, Powers.
Yeah, you think of Austin?
Seamus Austin.
Seamus is Ireland.
Yeah,
Seamus is Ireland. That's Lucky Charms. That ain't even no Austin Powers.
I think Seamus Powers. I think he's my sleeper.
He called him Shameless Powers.
Seamus.
That's what he's going to need at the U.S. Open. I don't know about that for a U.S. Open. I don't know. That L.A. country, that mug's a different beast. You want to know my sleeper, my wager? I want to know if they have this wager because of where this course is located and how you're going to have to get to it. I want to know. I'm going to set the over-under at 2.5 of guys that miss their tee times because of the traffic and stuff.
Yeah, unless they stay right there down the street.
That's why, unless you pitch in a tent.
Right.
Or like you come up with an idea, you staying in somebody's backyard and you can just walk down there. Like the traffic getting into there is gonna be, it's gonna be horrific.
I mean, it's 2 blocks up from Wilshire and Rodeo, like where this golf course is situated. It's gonna be stupid. But there's a hotel right there. There's that the Waldorf. It's right there on the corner. So if you stay there, you good.
You're right. And all these amateurs that are just qualifying on Golf Sluggers Day, they shelling out Waldorf money. You must think I got that. Yeah, this is Versace. This really is Versace right here. There's no V on the Versace though. It's just Versace.
So you're saying Liv is gonna have a good U.S. Open. Will's going with Shameless Powers. And real quick,
I don't know if the winners is gonna come out of there though. I
did call Victor Hovland last week, Michael Collins. Just want to make sure that
he did call VH.
Okay.
And I tell you what, the way that the Village played, I think we can look at the top 10 there to find a champion.
So you think that the winner of the U.S. Open is coming out of the top 10
of the Memorial Field? I do believe that. I don't have a pick in this moment. I still have another week to see how.
I got a sleeper. How about Ricky Fowler? How good's he been trending?
You know what? Ricky played some.
And he's a California dude. Well, here's the funny thing about Ricky.
Can he do it? Can he do it?
Yeah, big time. You know why? Because you know who all the pressure is going to be on, and
John
everybody else is
Scotty
taking it.
Scheffler.
No. It's
Max
Max
Homa.
Homa.
Max Homa got all the pressure in the world on him.
Yeah.
Going into that one.
Yeah.
And it was
this is not a Genesis. This is a big time for him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And it's a home game. Like you will never see people win home games at like major championships because it's just mentally you try so hard not to put that kind of pressure on yourself, and you can't help it because now everybody around you, it's like everybody gets like major Tourette's, right? They know they're not supposed to say nothing. You can see them, they fighting. You're gonna do it for your hometown. Like, I'm so sorry. People used to get that with Tiger, right? Like, and it's gonna be that way for Max because people are gonna like try and make it. You want to make it as any other tournament as you can, and you can't.
If you go by the stats, Matt Homer should win this thing though. If you go by the numbers,
I'm going.
Go by the numbers.
Numbers don't play the game.
I'm going Adam
Whoa.
Scott to win the United States Open.
Adam Scott?
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott. Adam
Really?
Scott.
Can you imagine what the golf world's going to do if that broomstick putter wins another major after they tried to ban it and couldn't get rid of it? Bruh.
Adam Scott.
Yeah.
Oh,
Adam
please.
Scott
You know what?
out
I'm
loud
rooting for
in public.
Adam. I'm rooting for him now just because of that. Just because that nobody had the balls to come out and be like, we hate the way that putter looks, but it wasn't a problem until somebody won a major championship, and now it's a problem. And if
That
they win
putter
another
is
major,
solid.
well, it ain't touching nothing, so you can't say jack.
Jack shit. No, you're right. You can't say shit after that. All right, Michael, we're going to send you out of here the only way that we know how. We're going to throw it back to how we used to end our shows during season 1. We call it Rap Foursome right here on Beyond the Fairway.
You scared me there for a minute.
You are going to go play golf.
No, because
with
at the
4
top
rappers.
I got to tell y'all, at the top of the second hour of my Sirius XM show, I freestyle. I always freestyle at the top. Like at hour 3, at 3 o'clock, they play the instrumental Gin and Juice, and then I just come up with a freestyle off the top of my head.
Go ahead, Kobe. Drop that music.
Freestyle. No, I like where you was going. I'm 3 hours of sleep. This freestyle would be horrible. And I already did one. Hot dog.
I remember back in the day, I used to freestyle on the lunch
All
table.
Right? All right, so let me see.
All right, let me unfreeze
my 4.
here
Who's my
before I can
4?
come- All right.
My 4 rappers that
Yeah,
I'm
you're going to play golf with 4 rappers, dead or alive.
Oh, dead or alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
So
Okay,
that
cool.
means it could be a bit of set tripping up in here too.
You ain't lying. Well, Jay-Z's definitely coming with me.
Nice.
Bars.
Yeah. I got him out there. I want Biggie in the group.
Hey, Biggie.
Thick tongue. Got it.
I gotta go because I'm an old school dude. I want to go old school. So Rock M.
One more. You only got room for one more.
I know this is
That's
where
not-
the hard.
that's not- yeah.
I know, man.
It's really not an easy question.
I know it's not easy, even a little bit. You know who oh man, see, all right. So it would be between 2 dudes, right?
You get one of them, Colin. Shit, one.
I know,
One.
but I'm saying it would be between 2 guys because of
Okay. All right.
I love their intelligence as well. So it would either be between Most Def or Common.
That's like that's like the same person, but I feel you.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with Common. I'm gonna go with Common.
All right, FAMU in the building.
I
Okay.
say Common too because his song "The Light" is the song that I dedicated to the woman that became my wife.
Go ahead.
So
that's all.
that song has history in my family, right? And I know like what a good I know he's a good dude as well. So that's the thing. I would put him as the 4th.
Yeah, he's smart because he went to Florida A&M.
Jay-Z say he wants to rhyme like common sense.
But truthfully,
so you had Jay-Z, you had William Michael Griffin Jr., aka Rakim. You had Common, and who's the 4th?
Biggie.
I love it. That's the ultimate force.
You see how good Will's recall is right there?
I know.
I forgot the Biggie part.
I know.
I
You
was
said
focused.
dead or alive, and you got the dead guy.
Hey, but I was
What
focused.
did you do?
I was focused on the real name of Rakim, which I randomly remember that. So you got that has an offset a little bit. But that's true. All right.
Oh man, Collins, man.
We appreciate you being with us, man. I'm gonna see
Always.
you, of course, all week, and we're gonna play. You playing Willie Mack, right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Willie Mack really loves you because I was like, hey, let's do it this year. He said, nah, I'm with MC.
Yeah, bro. Me and Willie, we put the band back together.
Michael
We
Collins.
on the fairway with Doug and Will. I'm the one on this guest list that'll thrill. Stop, drop. You know I got ill lyrics coming out my mouth. I will trill and thrill all you folks. Hey. See y'all next time, y'all.
Yo, Beyond the Fairway. What a way to go out. We appreciate y'all rocking with us always and forever. Michael Collins, appreciate you stopping through. Appreciate Snoop Dogg with the gin and juice coming in here. Kobe, we appreciate your production prowess. We'll holler at y'all next week.